it right now.
A part of me says more of you. A part of me wants to say.
Tip and Tiny and I go way back. Tip and I met when I was 18, 19 years old. He was like one of my first boyfriends.
At 44, LeToya Luckett is finally breaking her silence, and the internet is paying close attention. She's addressing her past with T.I., the relationship that started when she was just 18 in Atlanta, long before fame complicated everything.
First got to Atlanta, and he was like one of my first boyfriends, so that was hilarious. But through that, we had such a great friendship.
LeToya went from being pushed out of Destiny's Child by Mathew Knowles to rebuilding her entire career while battling breakup rumors, T.I.-related headlines, and relentless scrutiny over her personal life.
The time I did this and moved here, I was 19 and starting over after DC.
What happened? I've always wanted to know that story.
Management made a decision. There was nothing that LeToya and I could do about it. Did it hurt? Absolutely.
Now she's speaking clearly, directly, and with receipts. Let's get into the real story. LeToya Luckett was born on March 11, 1981, in Houston, Texas. From a very young age, music was a huge part of her life. Her dad was a singer, and he quickly noticed LeToya's talent. By the time she was 5, she was already performing solos in her local church, Brentwood Baptist.
Just get the strongest harmony parts. I just need a few more minutes of footage, that's all.
The children of the world.
She recalls one Sunday when the lady just gave me the mic, and I sang. That small moment would be the beginning of a journey that would take her from a church stage in Houston to international fame. She also joined the children's choir and started performing in school plays. It was at one of these elementary school events that she met Mathew Knowles, a meeting that would later shape her music career forever.
Actually, I was in Girl Scouts, and B came and got me out of Girl Scouts, and Daddy was outside, Mr. Mathew Knowles, and I went and met him, and he asked me to audition, went to the house, auditioned, and I became a part of Girls Time.
By the early 1990s, Houston's music scene was alive and vibrant. LeToya, Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, and LaTavia Robertson decided to form a group that would eventually become Destiny's Child. They began performing in local clubs and opening for bigger acts like Dru Hill, SWV, and Immature. Their energy, talent, and chemistry caught the attention of Columbia Records, which signed them in 1997.
District Cablevision, The Box, and Columbia Records have teamed to create I Attend, an exciting initiative.
We're Destiny's Child, and we're in Washington with The Box and District Cablevision. We just want to let everyone out there know to stay in school.
In 1998, Destiny's Child released their self-titled debut album. Songs like No 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 featuring Wyclef Jean and With Me started putting the group on the map.
Why you front when you know you really want it?
They were also featured on the Why Do Fools Fall in Love soundtrack with the song Get on the Bus, produced by Timbaland. Touring with TLC on the Fan Mail Tour and Christina Aguilera's debut tour gave them stage experience and helped them grow a strong fan base. But it was their second album, The Writings on the Wall, released in 1999, that really catapulted them into stardom. The album included hits like Bills, 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 Bugaboo, Say My Name, and Jumpin' Jumpin'. It was certified 8 times platinum in the United States and became one of the best-selling albums by a female group at the time. LeToya, alongside the other members, was living a dream, traveling the world, performing for massive crowds, and being recognized for her talent. Even with the success, tensions began to rise behind the scenes. In 2000, LeToya and LaTavia Robertson wrote a letter to the group's management expressing concerns about losing communication with Mathew Knowles, Beyoncé's father and the group's manager. They wanted additional business support, but this move caused a rift.
Something that happened suddenly, like at the spur of a moment. It was something that had been going on, It was things that we were noticing for
It was
years.
conflicts that were going on.
Yeah,
The
for years.
departure was like this.
When the Say My Name music video debuted that February, they were replaced by Michelle Williams and Farrah Franklin. The sudden change shocked both LeToya and LaTavia and marked the start of one of the most talked about splits in R&B history.
What was that like, though, when you heard that they'd shot a video for a song you sang on Without You?
I was like, nah, you playing, shut up.
I was like, hold on. I was like, it's not true.
Despite the challenges, this period showed LeToya's dedication. She had already proven herself as a singer and performer. And though leaving Destiny's Child was painful, it opened doors for new opportunities. Her early years in Houston, her church beginnings, and her rise with Destiny's Child laid the foundation for a solo career that fans would soon celebrate. The experience taught her not just about fame, but about navigating the highs and lows of the music industry at a young age, setting the stage for the next chapter of her life. After the shock of seeing herself replaced in the Say My Name video, LeToya had to face a new reality. One day, she was 1/4 of one of the biggest R&B girl groups in the world, and the next, she was suddenly on the outside, watching the group she helped build continue without her. The public didn't know what really happened, so rumors spread everywhere. People made assumptions, picked sides, and argued about who was right. But for LeToya and LaTavia, it was a confusing, emotional time. They had simply wanted extra business support. Instead, they found themselves pushed out of something they had been part of since childhood.
Transition from DC to becoming a solo artist was pretty difficult for me. I had been a part of the group for so long, it's all that I knew.
Even with the chaos, LeToya didn't stop singing. She and LaTavia decided to start fresh. They auditioned young women in hopes of building a new R&B group that could carry their vision forward. After months of searching, they formed a group called Angel. The lineup included Nady Quinones and Tiffany Baudouin. The four women moved to Atlanta, where they recorded a 22-song demo. They worked hard in the studio, tried different sounds, and built a sisterhood that reminded LeToya of the early days back in Houston. It felt like a chance to rebuild. But the industry wasn't easy. The production company overseeing Angel fell apart, leaving the group without a home base or financial support. With no label and no resources to push their new music forward, everyone eventually went their separate ways. It was another painful moment for LeToya. She had poured her heart into Angel, and seeing it collapse felt like starting over all over again.
They are poised to take over the charts as the new group Angel. It is a pleasure to have you ladies here.
Thank you so much.
Still, she didn't give up. By 2003, she made the bold decision to pursue a solo career. No group, no backup, no big machine behind her at first, just her voice. She signed with Capitol Records and got straight to work on building her sound as a solo artist. She spent time in studios, worked with new producers, and explored who she was outside of the Destiny's Child identity.
And so once I got over myself and once I got out of my way, I went into the studio and started recording songs.
In 2004, she finally released her first track as a solo artist, You Got What I Need.
I noticed, okay, I probably won't be able to stay here.
It wasn't a major commercial release. It came out only on vinyl and was mainly for promotion, but it marked her official entry into her next chapter. Fans who had followed her from the Destiny's Child days took notice. They saw a young woman who refused to fold under pressure and who kept moving even after huge setbacks. There were moments during this period when people wondered what would happen to her career. The music world moved fast, and former girl group members didn't always succeed on their own. But LeToya kept building slowly, quietly, and patiently. She wasn't rushing the process or chasing trends.
I didn't go in there going like, I'm finna be the next, or this is this, or I'm seeking revenge.
She was shaping a foundation for a long-term career, even if that foundation took years to complete. By the time she finished recording her debut solo album, she had been through a lot. The success, the break, the confusion, the rebuilding. And despite everything, she had managed to create something she was proud of. Her first album wasn't just music, it was proof that she could stand on her own. LeToya was finally ready to step back into the spotlight, this time as a solo artist with her own story, her own voice, and her own path. What started as a painful exit was now turning into one of the strongest comebacks in R&B at the time. When LeToya stepped away from Destiny's Child, she didn't walk into another big setup or a new team waiting to push her. She walked into silence. For the first time since she was a child, there was no group, no tours, no cameras, and no schedule. It was just her, sitting with everything she had been through. And even though she didn't say much publicly, those who were around her at the time said she took that period seriously. She wanted to understand who she was outside the group.
I was in. Let's see what God can do.
She took a break from the spotlight and stayed low for a while. During those quiet years, she started writing again. She joined small writing sessions, cut demos for producers, and recorded rough songs that never came out. She was learning the industry from scratch. A lot of people around the business didn't take her seriously as a solo act yet. Some didn't know what her voice sounded like alone. Others felt she wouldn't be able to carry an album without the Destiny's Child machine behind her. But she didn't stop. She kept writing, recording, kept learning. Around 2004, she began building a small team in Houston and Atlanta. It wasn't a major label setup. It was more like a circle of people who believed she still had more to give. She worked with producers like Jermaine Dupri, Brian Michael Cox, Scott Storch, and Teddy Bishop. A lot of those early sessions were paid out of her own pocket. She wanted everything to sound right before anyone heard it. Her music had changed. It had weight. It wasn't teenage pop anymore. It was a woman talking about heartbreak, betrayal, trust, and rebuilding her life. The song Torn came straight out of that stage. She wasn't trying to make a radio hit. She was putting real feelings into the mic. When the song was played in industry rooms, people were shocked. Her voice was warm, strong, and honest in a way many didn't expect. By 2006, she finally had a full album. She signed with Capitol Records, and they believed the music could stand on its own. When her debut album LeToya dropped in July that year, the industry didn't predict much. She was going up against pop acts, rock acts, and other R&B names with bigger budgets. But the numbers told a different story. Her album opened at #1 on the Billboard 200.
R&B singer LeToya made a huge statement this week when she beat out industry heavyweight Pharrell Williams to debut at #1 on the Billboard Top 200 albums.
That moment changed everything. Suddenly, the same people who doubted her were talking about how smooth her tone was, how strong her writing was, and how she had carved her own lane. Torn became one of the biggest R&B songs of the year and stayed on the charts for months. After touring and promoting the first album, she started working on her second one. In 2009, she released Lady Love. The sound was more mature. The stories were clearer, and even though her label went through changes during the rollout, the album still gave her another major hit, with Regret featuring Ludacris. After the success of her second album, LeToya found herself at a crossroads again. Music was still her home, but the industry had shifted, labels were merging, radio was changing, and R&B singers were not getting the same push they used to. Instead of sitting still or forcing something that didn't feel right, she opened herself to something new. Acting had always been in the back of her mind, but she never imagined it would turn into a real career. Still, she decided to try. Her first real acting opportunity came with small roles. Nothing flashy, nothing loud, but she was willing to start anywhere. She appeared in the film Preacher's Kid, and even though it wasn't a massive Hollywood rollout, fans paid attention. They saw that she could act. She wasn't stiff. She wasn't reading lines. She was natural and believable. That one project opened more doors than she expected.
Star is missing is a man.
I would love to have a guy in my life, but I'm...
Producers began calling her for auditions. She landed guest roles in shows like Single Ladies, Love That Girl, and a few independent films.
Outside of the box thinking I expect from all of you. Get out!
She was building a whole new lane quietly. What made LeToya's acting journey special was that she didn't come in trying to rely on her fame from Destiny's Child she trained. She worked with coaches. She studied how to move on camera and how to carry a scene. Her breakout moment in acting came when she joined the hit show Greenleaf. She played Rochelle Cross, a sharp and mysterious character who quickly became one of the most talked about roles in the series. Fans who had known her as the sweet girl from Destiny's Child were shocked. This was a different LeToya. She was bold, controlled, and completely locked in.
You expecting somebody? Don't you dare open that door!
The success of Greenleaf pushed her deeper into the acting world. She began landing steady roles and was now seen as a true actress, not a singer trying to act. She appeared in Power Book 2, Ghost, Ballers, and Lifetime films that kept her face on TV screens year after year. She even took on hosting roles and reality TV work, showing different sides of her personality.
Hey girl, just walked in rehearsal for Urban One Honors. They've got some big names this year. Chloe, Tiana Taylor, and your favorite. I'd be jealous of me too.
Through all of this, she kept her relationship with music alive. She didn't release as many albums, but she dropped singles, performed at select shows, and kept her voice warm. Acting didn't replace music. Acting simply gave her another identity. It allowed her to grow without forcing her to stay in one lane. What people often forget is how rare her career path is. Many artists fade after a group split. Many struggle to find a second chapter. But LeToya reinvented herself more than once. She went from girl group member to solo star, to actress with a steady list of credits. At every stage, she rebuilt from the ground up instead of leaning on what she did before. Even as LeToya's career thrived, her personal life was always under a microscope. Fans knew her from Destiny's Child, her solo hits, and later her acting. But her love life often made headlines in ways she couldn't control. Long before she became a household name, LeToya had already experienced some early relationships that shaped her. She first crossed paths with rapper T.I. when she was just 18, after moving to Atlanta. She said in interviews that he was one of her first boyfriends.
When I first got to Atlanta, and he was like one of my first boyfriends, so that was hilarious. But through that, we had such a great friendship.
Some fans think their connection was deeper than just teenage romance. But even though nothing is proven, all evidence suggests it was brief and amicable. In 2018, on T.I. and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle, LeToya and Tiny Harris openly acknowledged their shared history. LeToya referred to T.I. as her first boyfriend, and Tiny confirmed it, showing a level of friendly acknowledgement that surprised a lot of viewers.
And I love them, especially Tiny, because she had that round-away girl attitude.
The internet went crazy saying this was a huge revelation, even though it wasn't anything scandalous. After her early years in Atlanta, LeToya's love life took other turns. Her first marriage was to motivational speaker Rob Hill Sr., which lasted just 2 months. That chapter closed quickly, but it marked her first public attempt at long-term commitment. Years later, in 2017, she married entrepreneur Tamikis Walker. Their wedding was private, but their life together wasn't completely hidden. Fans followed along as she navigated marriage, motherhood, and career pressures. The couple had 2 children, and LeToya shared glimpses of her family life on social media. Even though everything looked fine on the surface, the marriage faced challenges. Rumors of infidelity and disagreements became public discussion points. Some episodes featuring LeToya and Tamikis aired on reality TV, and social media reactions were immediate. People labeled the relationship toxic. Some even predicted their eventual divorce.
I am not married. No, I am
and I'm okay. We're okay. Everybody is.
Again, it's not confirmed, but all evidence points toward a relationship that was complicated behind closed doors. By 2021, LeToya and Tomicus finalized their divorce, closing that chapter of her life. Meanwhile, T.I. and Tiny Harris were dealing with their own public scrutiny. Over the years, multiple women accused them of serious allegations, including being involved in situations where others felt forced into uncomfortable circumstances.
People are coming forward saying rapper T.I. and his wife Tiny to them.
The newest set of accusers join others who say the Atlanta-based couple them, then took advantage of them.
These accusations led to legal investigations, though as of now, no charges were filed against either individual. Some conspiracy theories on the internet tried to connect this to LeToya, but there's no verified link between her and any allegations beyond her early relationship with T.I. After her divorce from Tomicus, LeToya eventually found peace and happiness again. In 2024, she married entrepreneur LeToya Luckett in a private ceremony in Houston. She has openly shared that she is content and feels she's in a healthy and peaceful relationship now. Fans celebrated her new chapter, seeing that she had moved forward with a focus on family, love, and personal fulfillment. As of 2025, LeToya Luckett's career doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. After decades in music and acting, she continues to juggle projects across multiple platforms. Fans often remember her as the young girl from Houston who sang in church. But today she's an accomplished artist, actress, and producer with a long list of credits to her name. Her journey from Destiny's Child to solo stardom and now to acting has been full of ups and downs, but she's remained determined to keep evolving. In 2022, she starred in Until We Meet Again, playing Tiffany. The film received mixed reviews, with critics giving it a 4.4 rating on IMDb, but her performance was praised by fans who noted her emotional range. That same year, she appeared in A Miracle Before Christmas, portraying Mercedes Wright and Line Sisters, taking on the role of Valerie. Both projects allowed her to showcase her ability to play layered, relatable characters.
You could see how life is like without Mercedes Wright.
She even guest starred on Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, playing Kenya Pierce across 8 episodes. Fans loved seeing her in a drama series that combined action and family tension, highlighting her versatility as an actress.
Listen, I think you should hear my daughter sing.
Well, let's give her a listen.
LeToya also returned to reality television, appearing in Divorce Sistas in 2025. She played Rashida across 8 episodes, and the show explored the dynamics of modern relationships. Her appearances sparked conversations online, with fans expressing excitement over seeing her in a different format compared to scripted films.
It's not just a door. You don't open up for me anymore. Don't care for me.
Babe, that's
you
not
don't
true.
love me. You don't.
Music remains a part of her life as well. She has continued to perform and produce, keeping her name relevant in the industry. Fans still remember hits like Torn and her platinum-selling debut album, but her more recent work combines music and acting, giving her multiple ways to engage audiences. Even though she doesn't release music as frequently as she once did, her influence in R&B and contemporary music remains strong. Many people say she set the bar for artists who want to transition from music to acting while maintaining credibility in both fields. Off-screen, LeToya's life has taken a quieter turn. Since marrying LeToya Luckett in 2024, she's focused on family and personal growth. She has spoken publicly about being in a peaceful and supportive relationship, emphasizing that she's happy where she is. Fans who followed her journey from her Destiny's Child days through her marriages and acting career see this as a positive chapter. Some conspiracy theories online tried to connect past relationships, especially with T.I. to her current happiness, but nothing is confirmed, and it appears she's left those chapters behind. LeToya's story is a mix of triumph, struggle, and evolution. From her early days in Houston to the heights of Destiny's Child fame, her solo career, her acting projects, and her personal life, she has dealt with public scrutiny and personal challenges. Today, she's a multi-talented entertainer who continues to inspire fans through her work and her resilience.